Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Steelers Sanctuary podcast. I'm your host, David Barrow from SteelersSanctuary.com. And this is my co-host, David Cora. Dave, how's it going?
Hey, what's up, brother?
Dave, the Steelers might be the first team in history that lost the bye. All three division opponents won. They no longer sole possession of first place. Is this the last time they'll be in first place all season, do you think? Or is it?
Yes.
Yeah, I think so too.
They're
Just
not going to
straight
be in
deadpan,
first
yes.
place from here on out. I think it's a wrap.
Yeah, unfortunately. Um, yeah, the Bengals Seahawks game was a kind of a shitty game, but they pulled it out. The Browns
I watched
defense,
I watched that game. Seattle just choked. I mean,
yeah, I didn't watch any
honestly,
of that game.
yeah. I mean they pressured Geno Smith. He folded. Seattle couldn't stop the
Sounds about
rush.
right.
They couldn't stop the rush. They forced Geno to make some ill-timed throws. It was bad. Because I mean, like Burrow didn't light the world on fire, to be honest with you. Now Chase had a decent good game.
Yeah,
Um, but it wasn't like they were killing them or anything like they did the week before whenever Burrow had like 4 or 5 TDs or whatever. So, but they just when Seattle got out there, they couldn't stop the rush.
yeah, I kind of expected Seattle to give them a good game, but not. I mean, I let me cross that off. I expected the Bengals to blow them out, and the fact that it was that close kind of surprised me.
Yeah.
I did watch the Browns game. That was a super frustrating game to watch because obviously the 49ers missed the field goal at the end to win. They could have
Uh,
won the game. They
that
lost
rookie had two
Debo.
missed field goals.
Yep. They lost Debo Samuel and Christian McCaffrey during the course of the game. This Cleveland's defense, I don't know if it was because of the injuries that the 49ers had, but man, they look really good, Dave. They look really, really good. They couldn't stop the rush either. The 49ers could not get a handle on that pass
It's
rush
just so
at all.
strange. Did the injuries to
It
McCaffrey
must
and
have.
was it Debo Samuel had the other injury, if I remember
Yep.
correctly?
Yep.
Like, did it really throw their game plan off that bad to lose to the Browns backups? Like, I just
Yeah,
couldn't believe it.
especially with they played terribly on offense. The Browns did, without Deshaun Watson.
And like, don't get me wrong, like I know there were some calls that were pretty horrendous that helped the Browns, but it's the Browns, their backups, like the 49ers should have just absolutely obliterated them and didn't. It was the defense of the Browns that good.
They looked pretty impressive. I mean, they had Brock Purdy under pressure the entire game, especially in the second half. He didn't have much time to throw. A lot of people are speculating that maybe he's not that good in weather games. It was a little windy. It was a little rainy. I didn't think it was that bad though. If he can't play in that weather, they're in trouble. Um, I heard an interesting stat, Dave. Jim Schwartz, the defensive coordinator of the Browns, he's
Yep,
9-1 lifetime against Kyle Shanahan.
nine
Kyle
and one.
Shanahan, 9-1. He's only scored 20 points once on a Jim Schwartz defense. That's pretty impressive.
Like it's kryptonite, man. What the
Yeah, big
hell?
time. That was pretty interesting. Then the Ravens won too, so it was just
I watched that game too, and
I didn't watch that one up.
well, basically, what's his name got hurt, and it was curtains after that. Basically, they brought in Malik Willis,
Oh God, yeah,
and
yeah,
like Malik Willis was okay, but like it wasn't going to be the same kind of game plan they were going to do, and
yep.
it just I don't know. Like Henry did all right for them. He did good actually, and that Spears I think is their other running back, but there's just a lot of interceptions that just helped the Ravens. It killed the Titans really.
That's right. That was a London game. That was early in the morning. Yep.
Yeah, it was.
All right, let's talk a little bit about Tomlin's press conference today. I know you didn't get a chance to watch a lot of it, but we'll just walk through it. Tomlin did say that most of the offensive players will be back: James Daniels, Dan Moore, Pat Fryermuth, and then DeMarvin Leal and Presley Harvin all are going to play.
Yeah.
And then Deontay Johnson and Anthony McFarland, they're going to he did the old, we'll let their participation guide us through, blah, blah, blah. Deontay Johnson said he's going to play, so hopefully he does. Um, David, I know you didn't catch it. Mike Tom was testy. He was very testy,
Really?
like a little edge to him on this press conference. Chris Carter asked him a pretty good question, I thought. He asked him, how do you explain? I'm going to paraphrase because I don't remember exactly what he said, but how do you
Yeah.
explain these big wide receivers, big games against the Steelers, and Tomlin was just like, look, I don't pay attention to irrelevant stats like that. I'm focused on being better, and he's
So he
like
was snappy, huh?
he stopped at one point. He's like, really, you're gonna ask me that question? Like, I was like, dude, that's a legitimate question. You've given
Yeah.
up some huge games to wide receivers. And I think it goes back to he's so emotionally invested in Patrick Peterson that I don't think he wants to admit he made a mistake on that.
I don't look. I I've lost all confidence in Tom. Like I think it's getting to the point where I feel like he's incompetent, and I hate to say that. I really do. I don't want to say this, but when I'm hearing stuff like they're going to start more over Roger Jones, they're not ready to put Porter out there as the starter. Like, I'm sorry, dude. What the hell are you doing? Honestly,
Yeah, that's one of the
this
questions.
is this makes zero sense to me. And you want to tell me, oh, he's not ready, whatever. Well, apparently, Connor Benton's ready.
Yeah, because they had no other option because Hayward's hurt. So
Apparently not. I mean, Brandon Fehoko, that guy, he's on a milk
yeah,
carton right now. Nobody knows where he's at because they never play him.
yeah,
It's so stupid.
yeah.
And it's just constant, this constant loyalty to guys that underperform. Dude, Moore had one game where his rating was 3.5, single digits. How in the world can you justify marching that right back out there again? It's crazy.
I was thinking about this a little bit today. Like I was trying to put myself in Mike Tomlin's shoes, and I kind of get where if he just flipped veteran players for rookies like 3, 4 games in the season, I guess it's a bad look in the locker room. I think some of the veterans would, and I think Mike Tomlin's kind of like sensitive to the locker room and how it.
Yeah.
So I think it's the only logical explanation I can come up with why you wouldn't
He's a
put.
player's coach and all that
Yeah,
other.
but and that's served him well. Always having the locker room under him and not losing control of the locker room, and I think that's got a big part of it. He's showing like respect to the veterans, giving them every chance to get better. Again, Dave, it's the only thing I can think of that makes any sense at
Meanwhile,
all.
we lose or
Well,
almost lose to
yeah, I mean,
bad, inferior teams. Like I
there is a
just
downside to it for sure. There is a
oh,
downside to it.
like I understand it helps attract good players to the team,
Yeah,
right?
there's
But
all part of it. That's all part of it. Yep.
I think we neglect the standard is the standard. If you ain't meeting that standard,
And
I'm
it's
sorry, dude. Like we got to find somebody that will.
he's
And
contradicted himself a little bit with that. Yeah, you're right.
right,
You're right.
it's and the whole we don't live in our fears. Yes, you do. You
Well,
live in
yeah,
your fears
yeah.
more than almost any coach I know. You
That's the
don't
biggest bullshit
gamble.
line of
You
all.
don't take
Yeah,
chances. You're so conservative. I it's like I said, it's getting to the point where I feel like he's incompetent. He's incompetent, and I honestly don't feel good about this game against the Rams. I don't feel good about
I wouldn't say incompetent, but this is the first time listening to Mike Tomlin where it didn't feel like he had command of the press conference. Like usually he's in control and he's.
We said that though 2 weeks ago
We did,
that he had an
but this is
off
this is this
press
is worse.
conference.
This one was
That's
worse
bad. Coming off
because
a win and a bye, like
yeah, I mean
that's not
a
good.
reporter asked him about the offense and he's like, "Geez, guys, we talk about this a lot," and he gave his spiel, and then somebody else asked him about Kenny Pickett and if he's getting any better, and guys, "Geez, we talk about this a lot too, guys." So he was really snippy through this whole press conference. Um, I think the shortcomings maybe are frustrating him. Like he can't fix the offense, he can't fix
Well, I
his
mean, he
corners, and
could,
it's
but he
starting to.
forbid to. So
Well,
that's the issue.
there's that. Yeah. He talked a little bit about Aaron Donald, and God help us if he goes one on one with Mason Cole.
Mason Cole versus Aaron
Holy
Donald.
Christ.
That's going to be rough.
And he did talk about how the Rams do like blitzes and pseudo blitzes to try to keep you from doubling, all designed to keep you from doubling Aaron Donald, and that's going to be a challenge. I'm like, goddamn right, that's you let the blitzer
Yeah.
go and double up, figure it out because
Yeah.
man, Aaron Donald's going to wreak havoc in this game if you don't double him.
They're going to have Darnell Washington out there a lot. He's going to have to be that sixth lineman, dude.
Yeah,
They're going to have
that's a good point. It's a good point. Yeah.
They're gonna have him out there the whole time.
So they can
They
lean,
can double Aaron and then hope
yeah.
to God that they can figure out how to take care of everybody else coming.
Yeah.
Because I just don't see Mason Cole doing it. Another one with a blocking rating of 20 something points.
Yeah. Mason
Like,
Cole's we talked about it last
been
time. He's
horrendous.
just,
We talked about this last podcast about how to fix that by moving Daniels to center and keeping Herbig at right guard. But it's not gonna happen.
yeah, I don't think it's
And
going to
then,
happen.
and the best part, on top of it, Tom was like, "Wait, there's more. Moore's gonna go ahead and he's gonna start too." You're
Well,
just like, what?
they asked him point blank. The reporter said, if Dan Moore's healthy, completely healthy, is he going to start on Sunday? And, Tomlin, he's like, well, that's a really big if, but we'll let participation, blah, 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 blah. So
Sure.
we don't really have an answer. But Dan Moore did say he took first team reps in practice on Tuesday.
That's why everybody's pissed off.
Yeah.
Because they're already foreshadowing what they're planning to do.
Yeah.
And I just can't believe it. 37 snaps that last game for Broderick Jones and nothing. Didn't give up anything.
Yep. Then even a reporter asked him about George Pickens and how it seems like with Deontay Johnson out, he's taking a big leap. And Tomlin's like, listen, he's a great receiver. He's going to take leaps whether Deontay Johnson's there or not. It's not going to do with Deontay Johnson not being in there, blah, blah. It's like, dude, who pissed in your Cheerios this morning? These are just like legit questions, and you're like snapping at people. It was a bizarre.
He probably just wasn't in the mood to do a press conference.
Something.
I think these guys they do exercise a lot of patience dealing with the scrutiny that comes with being a Pittsburgh coach.
Oh, I'm sure.
But everybody has bad days, and he probably was just like, yeah, today's not a good day, and I got to go out there and deal with. They're going to ask all these questions about the offense, and
like I said, I don't know. He's frustrated because he can't fix it because it's been, especially the offense. It's been, well, I don't know, 3-4 years since they had a credible offense at this point. It's been,
like it's like a 100-year war with them in that offense, just getting it to do anything.
All right, Dave. This something I've been thinking about today. I wanted to get your take on. What got me thinking was Kevin Dotson. Do you know what he's ranked by PFF? Have you seen this floating around Twitter?
I did. Isn't he like top 5? Or is he the first?
Third ranked guard in the NFL
okay, yeah.
by PFF.
That's crazy. Crazy.
And then I started to think, Kendrick Green was kind of serviceable with the Texans before he got hurt.
It was.
And you think about like Mason Cole's regressed. James Daniels has been up and down. Chooks and Dan Moore have not improved at all. Is Pat Meyer the problem?
Yeah.
Is Pat Meyer the problem?
He's part of the problem. Yes. He is part of the problem in general. There's a lot of pieces that are the problem with this offense. One of them is definitely Pat Meyer. He's not making these offensive linemen any better. No. But remember, they didn't go get the best coach out there to be offensive lineman. They went out there and got along with Matt Canada. That's why we are where we are. They didn't hire the best candidate. They hired whoever got along with him. Just like they brought in, is it Coach Frischman, the wide receivers coach? Is that how you pronounce his name?
Yep. Yeah.
So Jackson, yep. They brought him. Same scenario. He worked with Matt Canada. He gets along with them. So again, you're not hiring the best candidates. You're hiring who gets along with my offensive coordinator. And these are the results.
It's not good. It's not good. When Kevin Dotson leaves you and becomes, the third best guard in the league, and he never approached that at all in Pittsburgh.
Right.
And then, even Kendrick Green starts playing, I don't want to say good, but he was the Texans were pretty happy with him before he got hurt. They were fairly happy with him. And then the guys here are not improving. Like Seumalo has been okay, but he hasn't reached the way he played in Philly.
In fact, he actually was bad at the beginning. He got better over time. He got better, but literally Moore has not gotten better. He regressed.
Yep. Okorafor hasn't really improved.
Kendrick Green never got better. Dotson was horrendous. Dude, Chooks, I could argue Chooks has regressed this year. He's not as good as he used to be. Oh, it's not good, but he wasn't that even kill guy where he was okay. To me, he's been worse this year. So, dude, the guy that replaced when they oh boy went to Oregon, and that other guy took over, and the O line started doing better. He wanted nothing to do with Pittsburgh after he took off.
Yeah, you've been on this for a while, and I'm starting to think that there's something to this.
There absolutely is. That's why Matt Canada is such a problem. That's why I don't want to harp, but he's had more of an impact than calling plays or his route tree for his wide receivers or his, no misdirections or no trickery or always doing the same stuff. It's also coaching he's had an impact on because people don't want to work with him. And now we get all these that they're just not, they don't meet the standard that you should have on a NFL football team for coaching staff. That's again, and then I could just go, well, this is on Tomlin because Tomlin allowed all this to happen.
Absolutely. This falls on Tomlin's lap no matter what. He's in charge of this. He hired, all these coaches. He's the one that's sticking with them, even though the whole world thinks it's a mistake. This is definitely on him. When we look back in a couple of years in this, we're going to be mystified in how Pat Meyer and Matt Canada kept their jobs this long, and they might be historically bad. They are historically bad, and we'll look back on it and think they were even worse. I just don't understand.
The time span of Matt Canada's contract will go down as one of the worst.
Yeah.
In probably the history
offensive football and Steelers
offensive football, it's going to go down as one of the worst.
Yeah, since 1970, the modern era, absolutely.
Bottom three in every statistical category since he took over.
And we go round and round with this. Is it because Mike Tomlin wants it this way? Blah, blah, blah. We talk about it every week. And we'll never know. Unless, like I've said before, once Matt Canada's gone, if he starts chirping, which I think he will, he's not Keith Butler. I brought this up before. He's going to talk. He's going to air out some dirty laundry, I bet.
Yeah, he's going to let it fly.
Yeah.
After what
he's interesting. I can't wait.
They're cheering Fire Canada at Penguin games.
It's out of control. It's out of control, Dave.
I mean, it's bad.
If you're the owner, you must be hearing this stuff.
Oh, they have to. They can't
be that hearing this, right?
Blind to it.
Well, shit, the reporters bring it up in the press. That's where I start to feel bad for Canada. If you're a reporter and you ask them, are you aware of that they're booing you in hockey games? Like, what is he supposed to say to that?
Right.
Like, what's the response? You're just insulting them.
Like what do you want him to say? Yeah, fuck them. He's not going to say.
Trying to make the guy feel worse than he already does. It's like, all right, we get it.
They're hoping to get something out of it.
Oh yeah, they're trying to get a rise out of him.
They're hoping to get something out of him.
That's kind of.
To his credit, I'll give him credit. He doesn't lose his shit.
No, he doesn't.
By now, I'd have got arrested.
Dave, I would have. Yeah, I would have too. Yeah, for sure.
Because I don't know how you're that. Nope.
All right, so it's the bye week, Dave. So I had a little time to look ahead. I don't know if you're aware of the Steelers 2024 cap situation. It's not great.
Well, no shit.
Not great. It's not great.
They got 4 defensive players to bazillion-dollar contracts. We already talked about this like 4 months ago. I told you I didn't know how they were going to do this with Highsmith. They did somehow, but now that I'm hearing that they're in trouble come 2024, I'm not surprised, Dave.
These numbers are a little bit fungible. I mean, if you look at over the cap, they say if they make it worse, they say they're $9 million over the cap, but I don't know how they get to that number. Spot Track, which I usually use, I kind of like that one. They say that the Steelers are 500,000 under, but here's the catch. They've only got 40 players under contract.
Oh, jeez.
So they still need 13 more players.
Yeah.
And even if that's 13 minimum salary players, that's still $13 million over the cap.
I'm telling you. And look, and here's the best part about this too. Somehow they're supposed to sign Najee Harris. No, yeah. Sign.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that. I've got a list here, and you tell me I'm going to give you the cap number and the dead cap number so we can figure out how much the Steelers will save. And you tell me if they're going to be back.
Okay.
I'll throw you a softball right off the bat. Allen Robinson has a $17.6 million cap hit and only a $1.9 million dead cap. So
Yeah.
that's a
Buy
savings
Allen
of
Robinson. Yeah, dude.
$15 million. So
$17 million.
the Steelers save
No.
$15 million if they cut him.
But dude, Tomlin's gonna drive him to the airport. Yeah, there ain't happening. No way.
I think, in all honesty, I think once that trade was made and the contract was, Allen Robinson knew it was going to be one and done, and they might cut him and then re-sign him if they like him. They'll sign him to like a $1 or $2 million deal.
Vet minimum.
Yeah, but I don't think he'll be back, honestly. In any, he shouldn't be back. Let's see, where do we go from here? I'll give you a tougher one. Larry
Okay.
Ogunjobi,
Ooh, that's a good one.
13.2 cap hit, 7 million dead cap. It's about a $6.2 million savings.
See, that's so. What was the dead hit?
7 million.
7. Boy, that's
He
tough.
saved 6 though.
See, it's
Under the
tough
cap.
for two reasons. One, Cam Hayward. We don't know if he's gonna drop off a cliff with his play.
Yep.
Two, Keanu Benton is legit. So
Yep.
do you feel like you could let Ogunjobi go and roll with Keanu Benton and a even older Cam? And Liao is okay. He hasn't been like
Liao's not.
and Montavis Adams is horrible. He'll be a free agent though, if I remember correctly.
He's actually been okay, but
He's
not
okay.
he's not the answer.
I've also seen him look like shit. So
Yeah.
there's that. So I don't know, man. That's a tough call. That's
I
a
think
big
that
hit though.
Yeah, this one's
7 million cap hit. I think they keep him.
yeah, this one's TBD. If he plays like he's played the first 5 games, they're gonna keep him because he's played pretty well.
But the hit is a little too much, I think, compared to how much you're paying.
Yeah, but you
million,
save the
6 million.
It's 7 million dead cap, but you save 6 million overall under the cap because he's
that's okay. I don't know if it's worth it. I don't know.
Yeah. You mentioned Cam Hayward, and this might be sacrilegious, but he's 22.4 million cap hit.
Oh, Jesus,
only 6.4 dead cap. You could save $16 million if you parted ways with Cam Hayward.
Could you imagine if they did that?
No.
If they,
I don't see any scenario. I don't see any
scenario.
scenario.
I don't, dude. That'd be tough. I don't know if they could cut Hayward. I don't know if they could do it.
I don't think they could. Mike Tomlin wouldn't. If he's got 2 legs and he can make it on the field, he's going to play.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you. But that's a lot of money they could save. A lot of money.
I should have looked it up. I believe it's the last year of his contract, so they might let him ride it out. I don't know if they try to. The other thing they could do is sign him to an extension and lower that number.
They could do that.
So that's the more likely.
That'd be the smart thing to do.
All right, let's see. Where else do we go here? Chooks.
Bye.
11. 11. He didn't even want to know the numbers. Basically, they save about $8 million if they cut him.
Yeah. Good night.
Yeah. Well, the problem is
that's a wrap with Chooks. He's just not good enough.
What do you do at right tackle? Do you move Dan
draft
Moore there?
Draft one.
Oh, you draft one.
Yep.
I guess that's the other option. You could
look
either
if they're going to spend $100 million on defense, then they're just going to have to keep staying young on offense with draft picks. Honestly, I mean,
yeah, you're right. It's a good point.
That's what they're going to do.
It's a good point. All right, Dave. You're going to know my answer to this one before I even. Patrick Peterson. See you later, buddy.
Yeah.
Don't let the door hit you on the way out the door.
How much they save?
Almost $8 million, basically. It's 11.1.
Patrick Pearson, they save 8.
Yeah, $8 million.
Bye.
Yeah, he's good.
Just a horrible.
I hope they don't talk themselves into, maybe he can play safety for us next year or something. I've seen enough of Patrick Peterson.
He can go play safety in the Canadian League, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. Is there any world Deontay Johnson? They could save $10 million if they moved on.
I don't think so. Look,
Deontay would be more of a trade
without him.
They'd have to trade. They wouldn't cut him because he's too valuable. They'd have to trade him.
I don't know what they'd trade. I wonder what they'd trade him for, though. Like,
yeah,
you see how anemic the offense is without him.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think they consider him, somebody they can't cut.
I would put that in the long shot sure category. Cole Holcomb, 7.6 cap hit, 3.2 dead, so about $4 million, a little over 4. He's played pretty well. He's
I
getting
thought
better.
he's done better. So maybe TBD. TBD. We'll wait a little longer.
Yeah.
But he's getting better. In the beginning, I was like, yeah, he can go. But now, eh, I'm I'm happy with him right now.
If I'm not mistaken, they redid Mitch Trubisky's deal a little bit, so you only save about $3 million if you cut him.
Well, if that's it, then that's not really. I
Yeah,
mean, you
he's a
better really
serviceable
be.
backup.
You got to really
They,
be struggling if you got to save 3 million.
yeah,
I mean,
I
it could
mean,
happen, but
his cap hit 7.5 million for a backup quarterback. That's a lot of money
it's
for a
so
backup.
stupid. Like I
Yeah,
don't get it, but
I don't get it
whatever.
either. Nate Herbig, you could save $4 million
For
if you
Nate,
move.
if you
Yeah,
cut
if you
Nate,
moved on. Yeah,
I
I think you need the depth,
one will
man.
have one train reaction to the other. Like they can't cut Chooks and Nate. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah,
Like
yeah.
you're
No,
really
you can't do
depleting your
both.
offensive line if you do that. So
It's either or. If they keep
yeah,
Chooks, then they could talk about cutting
yeah.
Herbig. Yeah.
But I could easily see them cutting Chooks and moving more to right tackle. I could see it.
Yep. A couple more. Landon Roberts, you could say 3.5. I might, I might entertain that. He's been good, but that's
Against the
not much to
run,
save.
he's been decent. Against the pass, he's a huge liability. Um, I really like Quan Alexander, to be honest with you, more. I think Quan Alexander is actually better in both.
Yeah.
So if I had to choose out of that linebacker group, one that could definitely go, it'd be him.
My last two, I'm going to kind of lump these together. Do you start over at safety? Casey, you could save $3 million, and Neil, you could save $2 million. So that's a $5 million savings.
Call that a twofer. Save both.
Cut them both. Try to get Edmonds back for $2 million. You net save $3 million.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think
This has
that's
been a
killing two
disaster.
birds with one stone. Literally, just save a bunch of money and get rid of. Take out the trash, man. Good lord, they've been
So
bad.
the Steelers salary cap on paper is bad, but they could free up a lot of money, and that's not
Yeah.
even counting redoing TJ. You could redo Minka. I heard the other day you could redo Highsmith now and save some money. So there's
Oh,
there's
really?
there's ways to save significant amount of money, but still, you would with a team without a franchise quarterback and a lot of young players to be this close up against the cap is not.
Yeah,
It's
it's
not,
not. It's not good. It's not
right.
good. This team should be doing way better than what they are, considering the cap hit. Yeah, it's crazy, but I'm not surprised. Like you've got a bunch of, and I keep saying the word incompetent. I'm sorry, that's how I look at it. You have a bunch of incompetent coaches, and when you at the top, you have incompetence. It filters down through the whole system, and this is what you get. This is what you get when you go to Houston and get your clock cleaned by a team in a rebuilding.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is what happens when you face a real team in the 49ers when they're healthy. They crush you. And dude, I still can't believe they're 3-2. It's a miracle.
Oh, when you break it down, it's literally a miracle. Some of the
Yeah,
defensive touchdowns and turnovers. The reason they're 500 above 500 is all the turnovers the defense would create. If they don't have
absolutely.
that, they're 0-5.
Yep. They'd have lost to Cleveland. No doubt in my
Yep.
mind they'd have lost to Cleveland. Um, Ravens game,
They don't beat the
same
Ravens without
thing.
the turnovers. Yeah, they
Right.
definitely do.
So they can easily be 1-4 right now.
Even the Raiders game was,
Right. Even the
you
Raiders
know,
game, they didn't light the world on fire. That's what's
no,
bad, is that they put up 23 points. And to us, that was like, wow, they're doing great.
we were
And
all
it's like,
excited after.
this is sad. That 23 points gets us excited.
Yeah. Um, Now that we've gone over the salary cap, and one thing else I wanted to say is Omar Khan getting a pass. I mean, he's supposed to be this cap wizard. Everyone's raving. Oh, I can't believe this. I can't believe that. This team's up against the salary cap.
Well, I know. I give him credit for pulling off the signings that he did, because we're all sitting here going, how is he doing this? How is he pulling off these signings? They have to be going over the cap. And he somehow maneuvered to where they're not going over the cap. So I still
Yeah,
give him credit for that.
he's pushed a lot of it into 24,
The
though.
players he brought in, we were excited about. It's just the players have underperformed, right? So it's one of those things, man, where it's like, hey, in the beginning we were pretty happy, but the players now suck. So you could hindsight's 2020 and be like, you really screwed up, dude. You really brought in a lot of shitty players.
I mean, this
But
is what
in
I'm
the
getting
beginning,
at.
we were happy.
No,
They're
I
just
was.
not
We all
playing.
were. But
Yeah,
5 games
that's
in,
what
I
I would.
mean, what's his best? I can point to a lot of bad moves. What's his best move? I guess Sam Alou.
Yeah, I would say St. Miles probably his
It's
best.
the only one. Can you
Quan
think of another?
Alexander, I thought that was good.
I guess Holcomb, the whole inside linebacker,
Yeah,
they've all been pretty
linebacker
good.
crew. I
They're
mean,
not getting
look,
paid that much,
let's
and
okay, just to compare, Devin Bush didn't even get a helmet in that game against Cincinnati. Did you know that?
I didn't know
They're
that.
not even like he doesn't even get a helmet on Sundays.
He's gonna be out of the league.
Now, what's his name? Raiders linebacker, Spillane.
Spillane, he's been
Spillane had two
playing, but
interceptions the other day in the
yeah.
game. So
But we know
Spillane's doing
Spillane's
okay.
limitations. He's not good.
Yeah.
He's
I
not good.
mean, whatever. Uh so Miles Jack retired. So
Yeah,
this is definitely an upgrade. He definitely
definitely.
upgraded the linebacker core.
Now
I
that you brought
told
that
you,
up, it's a
I
good
just
point.
think it was a communication issue. New guys,
Yeah,
they
which was
had to
bound to happen.
they had to work on the communication part. I think once they've gotten that down, now you're seeing them start to play a lot better. Elena Roberts is he's not going to cover a guy, but
But they
sometimes
knew
he's going to
that.
make the tackle, but sometimes he doesn't, which has been kind of shitty. But Quan Alexander, man, has been downhill thumper. And Holcomb has done well too. He's done a lot better now in coverage as well, besides making the tackle. And so they definitely did better. They definitely upgraded the linebacker.
Yeah,
To
I
that,
mean,
Samalu, Nate Herbig has been okay. He's
it's been
been
okay.
serviceable, right?
Well, that's pretty much what we expected from him. So I guess yeah,
But Pat P,
we,
disaster.
Allen Robinson waste of
What's
time.
that?
Allen Robinson waste of time.
Allen Robinson was a waste of time. Just I don't
Then you
know.
look at guys
Yeah.
like Cam Sutton and Kevin Dotson who are thriving in other places. Then you wonder
Well,
if they should have brought them back.
Dotson's a coaching thing.
Yes, 100%.
To me, there's a difference.
Yeah,
Dotson's a coaching.
and even again, this all falls back on Mike Tomlin because I guarantee you, I will bet my house that Mike Tomlin's the one that wanted Patrick Peterson. He's the one that demanded Patrick Peterson
Oh,
come.
absolutely.
You
But
know,
what I was gonna say was I thought it was interesting that Sean McVay, whenever Dotson was talking about the differences between Sean McVay and Tomlin, didn't he make the comment that McVay said, I'm gonna have you do what you're good at. I think that's your core difference that's hurting the Steelers. They try to make you be something you're not, but guys like McVay and Shanahan and McDaniels, they make you do what you're good at
yeah, it's
because
called creative
you're
coaching.
you're gonna probably do a lot better what you're good at, right? It's a weird concept, not
Yeah,
really,
right.
but I think that really is the difference, Dave, and I think that's why you see some of these guys they're trying to make them something they're not,
Yeah.
and
Ron Lipbach brought it up when had him on the other day. He's like, they brought Patrick Peterson in here, and he was thriving in a zone defense, and they're trying to make him a man corner. And
yeah,
again, square
yeah,
peg round hole.
yeah.
You don't bring Patrick Peterson in here to be a man on man corner. That's not what he does anymore.
A weird example, and it's weird. It's a baseball example. The Pirates when Clint Hurdle was the manager and Neil Huntington was the GM, they wanted everybody to throw the same pitches. They wanted everybody to be the same. And
Can't do that.
that just doesn't work over time. Like everybody's different. Everybody
Mm-hmm.
does things different. So, that was their downfall eventually, even though they had success initially, is because you can't make everybody be the same. Everybody has their own unique skills they're good at. And if you help them thrive with those skills, the dividends will pay off a lot better.
Yep.
And same goes for football. You gotta let your people be themselves, be what they're good at. And the Steelers they're not doing that. They're trying to make everybody the same damn thing, and it doesn't work.
Yeah, it's Tomlin's way or no way. Then they don't deviate from that at all. It's like
No.
it's his plan. He wants to outwill everybody. Forget about strategy or scheming people open.
Yeah.
It's like just beat the guy in front of you. Well, that doesn't always work because the other guy gets paid to play football too. Keeping in this 2024 look ahead, I pulled up a list of the free agents the Steelers have. I'm going to go with this list, Dave, and tell me if there's anybody you want to keep out of this.
Free agents. So these are all the
Yeah,
Steelers free agents. Which
for
ones would I keep?
2024.
This should
Um,
get good.
Levi Wallace.
No.
I can't even do this with a straight face. This list is so bad.
I'll
No.
drive him to the airport.
Yeah, no Levi Wallace. Montrevious Adams.
No.
Yeah. Eh.
No.
Gunnar Olszewski. It's not getting
I
better.
dislike him so much he can drive himself to the airport.
Yeah, right. I won't even pay
Like,
the gas to get him out
Good. That guy. Pro Bowl special teams guy for the Patriots. Comes here, is an absolute
Train
wreck.
wreck. Train wreck.
Yeah. I'll never understand. Never.
Miles Killebrew, I think you have to have him back. The guy's still making plays. Just blocked a punt the other week.
No, I love Miles Kilbrew for a
Yeah,
special teams guy. He earns
always
his
have to have him.
paycheck, man. I love him. Yeah.
That's one. That's one. You brought him up a little earlier, Quan Alexander. I don't know what's going to cost to get him back.
They got him for a pretty good deal this last time, unless
Yeah.
it was supposed to be a 1 year to build him
Yeah,
up.
I think that's what it is to get his value
They might not
back.
be able to bring him back. Somebody might snag him.
You kind of want him back, but I don't think he will be back.
Yeah, I know.
Marcus Golden, same kind of thing, right? You'd like to have him back. He hasn't really done much, but he's kind of serviceable anyway. He's a veteran pass rusher.
I think he's done fine. I mean, it depends on what his price is, but I'd bring him back if they could work it out. Definitely. I think for a third guy, he's fine.
Yeah. Chandon Sullivan.
No.
Yeah.
But we knew going in this guy was not that good. That was another move he made. It didn't make sense, but whatever.
Yep. You're right. James Pierre. Special teamer.
I don't know. I don't know.
I'm
He's another one that just never really became anything either.
Armon Watts. He's been kind of a disappointment, right? I thought they might have.
Yeah, Armon Watts. They were putting him out there over Fehoko. Did you see it?
Of course, because it's counterintuitive to whatever you think might make sense.
I couldn't believe it. I'm like, well, he's more DN than he is nose. But
he is.
I just, at the same time, I'm thinking in my head, bro, you can bump Ogunjobi and Ben out. Ben's good enough to be a DN.
Yep.
And put Fehoko in the middle.
Yep.
Probably solves your running problems, but whatever.
They're very stubborn about that. They're very stubborn. They don't want a true nose. They don't want anything to do with a true nose. They don't. So what's the point of bringing him in for Hoko then? If you that's your philosophy, then if you're not going to play him against the Ravens,
I know. I couldn't believe.
Or the Browns. He didn't play against the Browns either. So those are the two biggest run teams in the league. I don't know.
It's very strange to me. I don't get it. I really don't. They must just not be as high on him as we are as fans. It's the only thing I could think of. They must.
I'm not even that high on him. I think he's good against the run, and they struggle against the run.
Right, and that's what
it's not like we think he's a Pro Bowler.
Give the guy a damn helmet and let him give him a shot. Like, how worse can it be? I mean,
right.
It just didn't make any sense to me. But here we are.
Miles Boykin. I mean, he can be the special teamer forever. I guess he's good at that.
I just don't care.
Yeah, it's
with him, it's like, okay.
The problem with Miles Boykin is he gives you nothing as a receiver, like nothing.
And it's a shame because I remember when he got drafted, he had size and speed and he was like, man, this guy could be really good. And
I could be mistaken. I think he ran 4.3 at the combine, and he's got hands of stone. He can't catch.
Yeah, dude.
He can't run
he's not
routes.
He never lived up to the billing for sure.
Does Mason Rudolph make a return 1 year? He's a free agent again.
He's going to go around. Nobody wants Mason Rudolph. Nobody wants him. So yeah, he's probably going to come back.
Do you hear this trade rumor shit? Who's going to trade for Mason Rudolph?
I don't pay attention to any of that shit anymore with him. I thought for sure last year he'd get traded, but
yeah, me too.
Dude, nobody wants him, period.
No one's giving up an asset for him. Nobody.
No.
Kevin King. We don't even know what Kevin King is. They don't play him. We have no idea if he's good or not good. They refuse to use him, so I don't know if he comes back or not.
Yeah, Desmond King was someone who I was really looking forward to
Not
them giving
Desmond
a
King. I'm
shot.
sorry.
Oh, did you say the other one?
I said Kevin King by mistake.
Yeah.
Um,
But anyway, I was hoping they'd give him a shot, and they still won't. They forbid to do it. It's just because they're not going to admit that they're wrong. They're not going to admit they're wrong on both Levi Wallace and Patrick Peterson. They forbid to do it. If they put King and JPJ on the outside on both sides, they're admitting they were wrong and they were a horrible signing with Patrick. They're not going to do it, dude. They're not going to admit it.
but could they be worse? It has to be better, right? It
Well, they're
has
going
to
to
be
do
better.
this little. They're doing this little thing where Joey Porter, they kind of slide him in there, and then all of a sudden he plays like almost the whole second half.
Yeah,
That
this
way they
is
can say he's not the starter, but they know they got to play him more because of how bad Peterson and Wallace are.
it goes back to that thing I said about Tomlin in the locker room and not showing up veterans
Yes,
and replacing them with
yes,
rookies too
and
quickly.
it's killing this team,
Yeah.
killing.
Yes. Anthony McFarland. I think it's time to move on. The guy can't stay healthy. He's been
Your
injured.
boy, Mac, you're ready to move on from your
I
boy.
mean, he can't stay healthy. He's been injured every season.
This is true.
I mean, it's time to find a more reliable third back. I mean, it's not the most pressing position on the team, third string running back, but
Yeah, I was gonna say. I'm gonna be honest. I'm not gonna stress it. Whatever.
yeah,
Like if they keep him, great. If they don't, I don't care.
I'm
It's,
I'm dying for this team to have more speed. Anybody with speed, I'm for. But if you can't
well,
stay on the field, then it's not doing you any good.
just look at Miami and look what they can
Yes,
do. I mean, how can you not see that and be like, okay, we got to get fast guys on here. Like the more speed you have, man, just it's so tough for teams to cover all of it. It really
yep.
is.
I mean, there's two trains of thought. Like the 49ers don't kill you at speed; they're more physical but schemy
Right.
type. And then his Dolphins are just going to want to run right by you. Either way, I'm for. Just I'm not for what we're doing now, which is just
Yeah.
no speed. 70s football. I'm not. I've had it with that. One last one, Elijah Riley.
I
What
like that
happened to
kid.
him?
See,
What happened to
I'm
him?
sorry. I like him, but he's
He's in
not
a
a
milk carton
starter.
too.
They don't play him. They
They
don't
don't
give him
play
a
him.
shot. He's
So,
another one that I'm telling you right now, dude. I'd be tickled pink if they marched Elijah Riley out there to take KZ's spot. If they had Desmond King out there and Joey Porter Jr. If those three got put out there to start a game, I'd be perfectly fine with it. I honestly would.
I'm kind of with
Riley
you.
is Elijah Riley is always there where the football's at. He's got hands, he's got coverage skills, he can tackle. I don't see what the problem is here. Like, put him the hell out there, but they don't. They put KZ and Keanu Neal out there, and you see them look like trash, and you're just like, okay, this is great.
So the Steelers are 3-2 coming out of the bye. If they go 6-6, they end up with a 9 and there's 12 games left, right? So they would be 9-8. The way the AFC is right now, is that good enough for a playoff spot?
It
I mean,
kind of is because
6-6 is doable.
the Chargers are not doing great.
They're terrible.
The Jets are the Jets, right?
Even the
Who
top
else?
teams in the conference, the Chiefs and the Bills don't look.
Right. They don't look as tough as they usually do they?
They don't. The Bills are
Uh,
beat up. Their defense is screwed with all the injuries they've had.
that's what I'm saying. Like, I think you might be right. I think even if they go 9-8, they might soak up that last spot. I just don't know how they're going to perform. Like, I think this Rams game's a tough game. I
Yeah,
don't
we'll get
think
into
that.
this Rams game more in depth, but it's.
Yeah,
I
probably
heard a
Friday.
stat that the Steelers have not beaten the Rams in LA ever.
Jeez, are you serious?
Now they left LA for a
Ever?
while. I don't think the Steelers have played them since the '90s in LA. But
Well,
before
yeah,
that, I
it's
guess
been
they
a
were
while.
bad.
But
I mean, that was with the '70s teams that couldn't beat them in LA. Never mind.
yeah, dude, the West Coast game.
The West Coast games are an issue. I'm going to look it up. I'm going to do a little research tomorrow because I just distinctly remember some. They lost to the Raiders one time when the Raiders were really bad.
I'll say this. I'll say one thing because this hurt me in fantasy football. Kieran Williams is probably not going to play. Who's been their really good running back.
Has
That's
he
why they
hurt?
shipped Akers to Minnesota because
Yep.
this kid's really good. He hurt his ankle. He's probably not going to play.
Hmm.
So in theory, their running game shouldn't be that good. So I think if the Steelers played it, to stop the pass, which
Yeah,
I don't see
Dave.
happening.
Did you just hear
You
yourself?
want to know something funny? I said it, and the instant I said it, I regretted it. As soon as I said it, I was like, "That's
Oh man.
dumb. They're not going to be able to do that." I'm just saying, like, if they maybe go dime or because you got to stop Cooper Cup, you got to stop Puka Nakua, you got to stop Atwell,
And then tight end, Big B, something
Higby.
like that. He's
You got to stop
Higby. He's pretty
Higby,
good too.
you know,
Yeah,
and Matt, what's his name is he's dude. He's
and
got
we
the
know.
weapons passing.
Yep,
So
and we know Sean McVay is a good coach. He's going to scheme it
the
up. So,
that's a whole other thing. It's tough, man.
um, Mike Tomlin is 12-4 coming out of the bye in his career. So there's
Pretty
that.
good. It's pretty good.
I'm taking a quick look at their schedule. They need to win this game, Dave, against the Rams because then they get the Jaguars, which is going to be a tough game. Then it's the Titans and Packers, which are winnable for sure. And then they have the rematch with the Browns. So it'd be nice if they were 3-1 going into that Browns
Yeah,
game to
yeah. I
make
would
them
love to
what
see three and
six and
one. That'd
three
be
going that.
nice.
Yeah,
But I don't know. We'll see.
yeah,
I
they
don't
need to win this Rams game.
I just gonna be honest. I don't feel good about this game. I don't feel good about this game.
Let me ask you this: Is there a game this season you're going to feel good about? Because I don't think there is. Even
I
this,
feel good. I feel good about Titans. I feel good about the Packers.
yeah,
I
we
do.
felt good
I
about the
honestly do.
Texans game too, though.
Like if we're gonna be fair here, because everybody's from like you guys always are so negative about the Steelers. I do feel good about them against the Titans and the Packers,
They have the Cardinals and Patriots back to back in December.
which I like. This might be the one time where they could actually beat up on the Patriots. The Patriots are horrible.
They're the worst team in football, which is
Yeah.
scary because they're going to get Caleb
Oh, I
Williams.
know. I'm not. Look, I'm
That's
sure Darth
concerning.
Vader. I wouldn't
Yeah.
put it past him to be like, you know, if I just tank and get Williams, if
No, the
that
Steelers
happens,
have the Cardinals, Patriots, and Colts in a 3 week span. That's the Colts without their first round pick at quarterback. He's going to be out for the
right?
season. So they should have a pretty good December
Should they
in
should
theory. In theory.
as long as they can stop Josh Taylor, then Moss, Zachary Moss for the running backs for the
Yeah.
Colts. They stop them, they should be all right. Should be in theory. But I mean, they got a really good wide receiver, and I can't remember his
The
name.
Colts,
Yeah,
I'm blanking right now.
I know I am too. But he's pretty good. But minimize the running game for against that game. I would say they should win.
Yeah, the Colts without, they're bad with their quarterback. Without him, they should be. I mean, I don't know. Well, we're getting ahead of ourselves, but the schedule is going to keep them in it. I mean, there
Yeah.
isn't. They finish the season Bengals, Seahawks, Ravens. That's a tough little stretch. Have to go to Seattle,
Oh,
which is a
I don't
freaking
like
nightmare.
that. Yeah, I don't like that.
Yeah, Bengals at home, Seahawks away, then at Baltimore to finish the season. That's a tough. They better have a cushion going
Yeah,
into that for a playoff spot, man. That's a tough way to end the season.
yeah, not easy.
Going to Seattle and LA in the same year.
Yeah, it's tough.
That's not good.
That's tough, man.
All right, Dave, that's all I got, unless you got anything else. I
No,
thought it'd be a
not
fun week. We'll
yeah.
start
No,
ramping it up.
no, it's good, man. I like this kind of stuff. Yeah, no, I don't know, man. Like I said, I don't feel good about this game for a lot of different reasons. But they are 12-4 coming out of the bye with Mike Tomlin, which is really good. They get key guys back in
A lot of key
DJ
guys.
and Muth.
This offense has to get better, right? It has to get
Yes, it has to get better. That has to be a nice, shot in the arm for them. But again, putting more back out there at left tackle, I just don't agree
better. We'll
with
see if
it.
it happens.
Mason
We'll see
Cole
if it
up the middle. I don't know. Kenny's going to be doing his little spinneroonie fucking like crazy. He's going to look like a Tasmanian devil. He's spinning so many fucking times.
Yeah, there's no doubt that Aaron Donald is the key to this whole game.
Yeah.
If you're not going to stop him, but if you can keep him under control, then you can
Honestly, you're right. He is the X factor. If you can stop him, you've got a chance.
Yeah, or at least
Or just
slow him
contain him.
down. Yeah,
Just contain him
slow
a
him down a
little
little bit.
Yeah.
I imagine that Samalo and Cole will be double teaming him most of the game. I think that would be the best strategy. And
What
then,
do you take from them having a private meeting to air it all out there, get it all out there? And do you think that helps at all? Do you
no,
think that
that worries me. If you're at the point where you
that
need
worries?
meetings, then I think that's a sure sign of a sinking ship. When you're having meetings to clear
They
things
did it
up, that's
last
not
year though,
good.
and they roared back 7-2.
They did, didn't they?
Yeah,
But do you need a meeting 2 years in a row? And
I
this
don't
is
know.
ridiculous now.
Do they got any else they can trade away for the 32nd pick? I don't. Yeah.
No, it's not going to happen again. They got
Well,
lucky.
look, I like the fact that they aired it out. I'm really hoping someone goes, "Hey, Pat Fryermuth is a really good catching tight end. Is there any way we could do a slant with him down the middle? It might
Don't.
work out."
I mean, if they haven't done it in what 17, 34, and 5, 39 games with Matt Canada, then
Yeah, I
it's
know.
not going to change now.
I don't know. I'm hoping that they do try some things or something. I'm hoping they try something new come this game against the Rams.
Just having better players on the field should help. They did have all
Good.
those players on the field
It
against the
should.
49ers and they sucked. So we'll have to see. Um, yeah, I don't know what to expect this
Yeah,
game.
me.
We'll go deep
I
into
don't
this
feel
game
good
on
about it, but
Friday,
we'll see.
but yeah, it's
Yeah, Friday we can break down offense,
yeah.
defense on both sides, players, see what happens.
All right, man. You can follow me on X at SteelersSanct16. You can email the show at daver@steelerssanctuary.com. Subscribe to the podcast, rate and review. That helps us out a lot, guys. We really appreciate you doing that. Dave, give me your stuff and let's get out of here.
Yeah, you guys can find me on X at M_Corb. I'm on TikTok. I'm on TikTok live as we speak right now, doing this. You can find me at Steelers Sanctuary Podcast or at Still Sanct Pod. Don't forget, I'm also doing the signupexpert.com/nothingness. If you want to get on there and do sports books, go to that site.
All right. Until next time, thank you for listening to the Steel Sanctuary podcast.
All right, guys.